All right, everybody. We got baseball. We got basketball. Um, and I did put a hockey thing in, just so you guys know. I played Florida, just if you want to root. And that is where I've been freaking in fuego in the hockey. I'm not going to claim that I know what I'm doing yet, but I think I'm on to something. So let's. I'm going to continue to ride this wave here and keep playing that same tournament. I have 4 cashes out of 4 this week in that. A first, 2 seconds, and a cash. Empty net goals have been the key to me getting there. So great amount of luck involved. The first thing I have to do is I need to update some of these lineups I have because I got a scratch. This I was hoping that they would get Dustin Varsho in, but was not meant to be. That would have made my life a lot easier. So as it stands, I have to swap him out, and I had like a good 20% of him, so I have to manually do that. And so my latitude, no. So as I do that, I'm going to try to get some questions in from you guys, and then we can go through the slate. Okay, so let's put. So who am I going to use a catcher then? Trevino is obviously seems to be a good spend down. I don't need to play Marisnik now. Although Marisnik's not necessarily a terrible play. Well, now I can go to Hayward, who's definitely better. I'm almost done with my out swaps, and then we can go through the slate, or at least the way I see the slate. Another Varsho, which I have to get out of there, and Trevino is going to take over that cheap catcher position over there. That's not bad if I put that guy in. So if I put Horner in, no, I don't need to put Horner in. I'm going to put in that second base spot. I'll throw in one of these just for kicks. Am I done yet with my out swaps? Almost. Let me just double check. No, almost. I have one more Cabrera I have to get out. One more Varsho I have to get out. So this Varsho will almost become that. Then the Rizzo will we pivot off of that? No, let's turn that into a different $3,100 outfielder who will be probably Marisnik. Let's leave that there, and then one more, and then I'll check the chat. Sorry about this, guys. I just got to take this one Cabrera out, third base. Who am I going to put in to kind of hold the fort there? I'll hold the fort with Riley, and then throw a Kiki in just for kicks. Okay. All right, let's see if I have any questions here for you guys. Oh, no questions yet. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through. Bobby says he's going to be like 5 minutes late, but also because you guys are here, I think we have extra. We have extra degenerate action. We have action in Churchill Downs, I think. In a
a drop in class here.
We're live with something at Churchill Downs, so I have to remember to come back and get that. We have a 13-to-1 shot, which pays us good money if it comes in. So maybe we'll get a sweat on that if I remember. So it also reminds me that this weekend is the Kentucky Derby. And what I'm going to do for you guys, I mean, I may as well. I don't like this is the one time I can give like my horse stuff away, is because it's not going to affect my equity in the pools. Usually, there's just so little money put in some of the tracks that I bet on that if I gave away who I was using, if anybody bet on them with any size, it would just ruin my price. But the Kentucky Derby is so filled with bad public money that, number one, doesn't matter how much money gets put in, it's not going to affect my price. Number two, it is one of the best betting cards of the year. The Breeders' Cup is really super strong, and the Kentucky Derby is really super strong. So all the Kentucky Derby, all the Triple Crown race cards are extremely strong from a betting perspective, just because of all, it's like, all the public money is in. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put together a video in case, I don't know if any of you bet horses at all. But if you do, you'll definitely get some benefit from it. And if you just want to fire something in on the Kentucky Derby, I will definitely give you some place to start. I will tell you what the best values are, and that'll be it. So there's Bobby in over there.
Hey, sorry about that. I actually was trying to get in for a little bit and I couldn't jump right in for some reason. But
no
good
problem.
To see everybody.
Yeah, so I was just preparing everybody. I want to remind everybody that this weekend is the Kentucky Derby. So I'm gonna put something out there.
Yeah. That's where the sheets come. For those of you who don't know, that's like your background.
Yeah, as I said, I usually can't give any horse racing picks away because number one, my equity is too strong, and number two, like the track size is such that people would affect my price if they put any real size in anything. But on cards like this, like a Derby, there's like so much public money and it's not going to matter. And I got to remember, because I know you said that your aunt or uncle or whatever it was are into that. So I'll send you I'll make sure I'll send the link to them too, because I'm going to do the full breakdown of like the whole Kentucky Derby card.
Awesome.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll do that. I didn't have any questions out quite yet. What I was doing just now is I was swapping out some catchers because I was hoping to have gotten that cheap catcher I wanted in Arizona. That didn't work for me, so I had to swap out of that a little bit. So what I see,
people will filter in, guys. Please, when you do come in, remember to give us a like and subscribe, all that stuff. Appreciate it. And yeah, let's get after it. Let's talk about what we're doing on this slate.
So what I decided, and we talked about this towards the end of the noon thing that we did, was with respect to which secondary pitcher I was going to pick. I was going to take Bauer, then I was between Weaver, Perez, and Gibson. I just decided that whichever of those three I thought would be the lowest owned, that would be the one that I just kind of highlighted my bigger ones. And from the numbers I'm looking at, it looks as though Gibson is the lowest owned of those three. So with that being the case, that's the guy I'm going to use. And that coincided, which was a really big deal with you said that you liked him more than the other two back when we spoke at noon. And you know what? That's good enough for me. So I'm gonna use Gibson in my bigger ones, and I'm gonna spread around a little bit with some Weaver and Perez also. But Gibson is going to be my main big guy.
Yeah, I guess a couple things I want to touch on. I really am not. I'm playing Trevor Bauer. That's as simple as that. I understand the idea of Alzolay or Bryce Wilson. It does feel funny because the most popular game is also going to have two pitchers who are actually going to have some ownership. The most popular stack game. And I just want to point out to everybody, today's afternoon slate is a perfect example of how you don't need to stack to win. You basically couldn't have stacked in one entirely. I guess you could have if you got if you had it exactly right everywhere else. But on these little slates, you really don't have to just go all out on something like that. So anyway, that's that part of it.
I didn't need a stack. I just needed Houston to get a hit. Like I didn't need to get anything. I didn't need even a stack.
No, I mean, you know what I mean, though. I'm saying, it's a great example of a point that we talk about, but, really, we just always think, it's 5 men, boom, 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 boom. But these littler slates especially, but in general even, you should try to differentiate your thinking a little bit and try to get the best plays in. And I think there's a lot of really good plays here that you can get at lower than, I don't want to say should be ownership, but I don't see – I could see Weaver having a nice game against Colorado. Again, I'm skeptical about their offense. I also see the other side of it. I could see Alzolay striking out enough Braves. I could see Martin Perez just getting through 6 innings, which would be good enough.
Yep.
But I do think Kyle Gibson has, just even based on performance, proven that he has the upside. He's been consistent. Looks like he's back to his old real self pitcher. People are afraid of the Red Sox. I understand it. High run total. I'm going to side with Gibson, but I will play some Perez. That's the only 3 pitchers I'm using. I'm skipping Alzolay, who I actually like in general. I just don't mess with Atlanta. I'm not doing that. It's a nightmare. and I'm also going to find the hitters that I want. So like, I think maybe for this particular slate, it would be good to talk positions on DraftKings and then even FanDuel if we want to, because I think that you are trying to win with stacks. And my favorite stacks are the Braves, Cubs, Dodgers, and Rockies are my sleeper one. But I don't think I'm fully stacking any of them. I think I'm doing mini stacks because I like enough spots. So maybe talking about positions would be helpful.
Yeah, that's a good call. I mean, considering that you think the approach to today's slate is to not necessarily stack, or at least 4 or 5 man stack. I think that going by position actually makes a lot of sense. So I can make that work. So, yeah. but you got to do me a favor. Can we do it in my order just so that I can look
at whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's do first base first.
Okay. First base on DraftKings. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have. I'm looking at okay, so first of all, for your cash play or even as part of your stacks, you do have Matt Duffy, first base eligible at 2,400, hitting in the middle of the order. And I'm definitely getting a lot of that. In addition to that, my probably the best play for me is still Rizzo. So it's Rizzo and Duffy. And then beneath that would be, if you could afford him, Freddie Freeman. So those would be in my order. It would be like Rizzo and Duffy kind of tied. And they're like totally different types of plays, right? But right. Rizzo, Duffy, and Freeman.
Yeah, I think Rizzo's the best play, and I think the ownership's going to be lower on him now that Duffy's in the lineup at 2,400. So I actually think Rizzo is your best play. I think that Freeman, if you can afford him, great. It's literally like I actually had a lineup earlier where I was deciding between Perez. I didn't play that many lineups, but Perez and Bauer, or Gibson and Bauer with Rizzo or Freeman, because it literally works out exactly the same price. That swap. So I get both of those. The guy I would mention for tournaments that I think is an awesome play, and it's always awesome when you get really low ownerships. First of all, if you're not playing Trevor Bauer, I would encourage you to play Daniel Vogelbach. I love Trevor Bauer. I think I just think that if you're gonna make that kind of play Daniel Vogelbach and don't play Matt Duffy in that case. Or you probably have enough money so you don't need to play Vogelbach, but just consider it, because I actually think that that's your probable best home run bet against Bauer.
You know what? I'm going to make this call. Okay, it's a 4-game freaking slate. You can play Bauer and Vogelbach together. That's going to be my.
I agree, but you don't need to, because right. You have Duffy there and you've got other good guys. The guy who's really so the guys who I'm playing are Rizzo, Duffy, Freeman, and the one who I like the most as my sleeper play is Cron.
Yeah, I right now have 58 on DraftKings, 58% Rizzo. Clearly up, far and away. And then the next one, it matches yours a little bit. So I have Duffy next, and then I'm kind of spread out a little bit. I got some Cron, Freeman, and I have one sprinkle of a Nate Lowe, just on a Texas stack that I threw in.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, by the way, I can never. Now that you said it, that's now it's burned into my brain. And that means I have to play Nate Lowe in some lineup because he's going to hit a home run now. Every time you do that, Cheats, where it's a guy we talked about before, and I just said it about him, like you got to play Nate Lowe every day now, because every time I don't play him, he ends up hitting a home run. So now that you said it, I'm going to probably have to get some.
Well, I'll give you guys. By the way, Bobby, maybe you can figure this out. I don't know. You'll never figure it out because there's too many players. But with the exception of Bauer, who I'm 100%, there's one guy who my highest exposed player is 84% on DraftKings, and that's over like 20 or so lineups. So mm-hmm. we're gonna get to him a little later. Mm-hmm. Okay. Second base.
Yeah. So this is interesting because I'm already gonna get a little bit weird with this position. But people were going to play Josh Van Meter against Senzatella, and that's totally fine, price-wise. I'm willing to take enough of a shot. Now, I'm a little nervous about Sheldon Neuse because of the switch, but I do like the Dodgers tonight because he's probably going to get pitch hit for possibly. But he's got a pretty big swing, and I can sort of fall for it for the power upside. And even if they do bring in their bullpen, like the Dodgers have great lefties. Wouldn't you bring your awesome lefties, which they have lefties in the bullpen, which would leave Neuse on the field. So long story, he's my sleeper guy. And then I'm not playing all the Arizona guys, so everybody else can have all that ownership. I will play a combination of Muncy, Noose, and Albies.
I think
and McMahon on FanDuel, but not on DraftKings for me.
yeah, I my highest owned second baseman is Matt Muncy, is Max Muncy. He's my favorite over there. I'm able to play him the way, with my other stuff. So I like him. And then as part of my Cub stacks, I just always just end up getting to this guy. I was going to play Bodie, and he's not in, so I got a little lazy and I just put Horner in instead of him. So that's going to be that. And then other guys that you mentioned, there's a Solak and that Nate Lowe stack. I do have a Noyce in there somewhere, and then I think those are the only guys I'm using. Oh, and I have it. Obviously, I have McMahon in a Colorado stack.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right. So third base, is that right? Or what is your?
Yeah, that's right for me. Is third base.
Okay, I didn't know whether to go to the shortstop. Third base. So again, you get Duffy. Again, you can use the Noose thing. I think Austin Riley's a good play, and I actually think that I don't care that he's batting seventh. It's a huge power upside matchup, especially if you're playing Braves. But I can use him even not maybe as a one-off, but as a two-off even. I really like going that route. Again, Escobar, I'm not messing with Arizona's high ownership today against Senzatella, who actually can be decent enough. So that's what I'm sort of justifying it with. And if you could afford him, Justin Turner, but I don't think that you can afford him very easily on DraftKings if you want to play some of the other guys I want to play.
I'm using a couple of guys at third base. Duffy, as you mentioned, he's a big part of what I got. I'm playing Chris Bryant at third base a lot.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that was the other one. My bad.
Yeah, I'm playing him at third base line. I'm actually getting Justin Turner in like 20% somehow. And then also, like you said, and I got a 20% of Austin Riley too. And I do have McMahon as a third baseman in a Colorado stack also. So
yeah,
we're pretty much on the same page.
Yeah. Shortstop.
Actually, if you wouldn't mind,
Yeah, go ahead.
next I have catcher.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, catcher.
That's okay. I like I heard that a lot of people are liking Vogt and to be not to be lazy, but I didn't really look at him too much. I guess he's probably a good play, but I don't know. I'll play it. I think Contreras is obviously the best raw points guy. I shouldn't say obvious. It's freaking baseball, right? But
I don't think Will Smith is far behind him.
Right. That's what I was going to say. So there's Contreras, and then and right behind him is Will Smith. So I'm going to be playing a bunch of Contreras. I'm going to be playing a bunch of Will Smith, and then and then to pay down, I'm just going to play some Trevino at batting sixth, on the cheap. So he's a guy I'm going to play, and then that's it. Contreras, Smith, and Trevino.
Yeah, I like the Contreras play. I also like Will Smith, and again, it makes it pretty easy for me because I'm not doing the Arizona stuff, which doesn't means I don't really have to think about them. You know what I mean? And they're pretty much the chalk of the infield. So, yep. I'll play Will Smith. I'll play d'Arnaud, and I'll play Contreras. Those are the three I'm playing, I think.
So I'm just going to come right out and say it. I have 86% AJ Pollock.
I have a ton of AJ Pollock as well. So shortstop's last now. Okay.
Oh,
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
That's even after pitcher.
Yeah.
Because it goes like alphabetically, like C, then O, then P, then S.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I have just an inordinate amount of AJ Pollock. And then I want you to talk me through this Cubs stuff with Hayward and Marisnick. Because they make a lot of stuff work, and I just like you said, I'm going to be playing a lot of Hayward. I'm not happy about it. I feel the same way with Marisnick too. But that's just the way. I think that's the life I've chosen today. I don't know. I am able to get I think an Acuna in an Atlanta stack somewhere probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. I mean, he's obviously if you could play him. So yeah, you could like if Acuna, and I will say that point per dollar, is Charlie Blackmon is really really cheap. He's cheap for a reason, but he's also but he is cheap. So I will throw that in the mix, and then another one off who you could always play is, and today especially, is Joey Gallo as well.
Yeah, love the Joey Gallo one off as against the lefty. Unfortunately, other people are going to be on that one as well today. I like Blackman. I like the Rockies. Like I mentioned that already. I think that's a great just way to get. I mean, you're going to be very different in the field, I think, playing the Rockies. And let's see what else.
What about the Cubs outfielders?
So I'm not as interested in the Cubs outfield. I have a little bit of them.
Okay.
But I just think you have these guys are not much more expensive than the Cubs. The guys. I mean, Hayward is more expensive than Pollock. I mean, they're almost as Blackman's $300 more and $700 more than Marisnik. It's kind of, from that perspective, it's a little tough. But for parts of stacks, I understand if you're going to do the stacking thing. I love Acuna. He's the guy I would pay up for the most here. I'm not setting anything crazy. He's going to be the most popular, and he's, for good reason, in my opinion. He should be the most popular every night. That you can afford him, and you can. So I like Mookie if you're not going to play him, if you're not going to play Acuna, or if you really want to go cheap on the infield and not play Bauer. And then I like Pollock as well. I do think the Dodgers are actually, like, Pollock will be owned. Seager, we'll get to that in a second. But like Nusei, Smith, even these guys are like in the teens probably of ownership on a 4-game slate. That's too low. We'll get to shortstop. Shortstop again is my favorite position again, but I guess we should get over there. There's not a whole lot else I have in the outfield. I mean, Kiki Hernandez, fine. If you're not playing Gibson, I'm leaving money on the table to play Blackman and Gallo above it, like anybody in the 4,100 range. So just to give you an idea of where I'm at, I actually am leaving like 500 on the table in my big lineups.
I'll tell you. Okay, so can we go to shortstop? I think that I don't care what the handedness of the pitcher is. I mean, Corey Seager's a freaking lock here. I mean, I only have 63% of him, only because I have Swanson in some Braves stuff. I have Story and some Colorado stuff, but I think Seager's awesome.
I love Seager as well. I get why he wouldn't be the most. So I really like shortstop. So I'm double shortstopping on FanDuel. That's what.
Nice.
I like Story. I like Baez. I like Seager very much, all of them. And I don't even mind. Like, again, if you're not playing Gibson, I don't mind Bogarts. But I think the main play would be on DraftKings that if people are going to use and he's going to be popular is Dansby Swanson. So mostly on DraftKings, I have Swanson, Baez, Seager. And then I have Story more on FanDuel than I do on DraftKings. Yeah,
so what I did, I was kind of happy it worked out this way. Like I have I'm only playing a couple of lineups on FanDuel, and there I'm not playing the Dodgers, and I feel okay about it just because of how much I have of them on DraftKings. I mean, I have all kinds of Dodgers littered throughout my freaking DraftKings lineups. So FanDuel, I'm playing Bauer, and I'm actually I'm jamming in the Braves too, alongside with Bauer because I'm playing some of the Cubs value. That's what I'm doing. I'm playing Cubs, and you can figure out who that is. Cubs and Braves actually play with Bauer really nicely, actually over there.
There's got some questions in here. I'm going to jump over to. Jeffrey Schreiber asked if Braves are going to be mega chalk. Yes, they will be. The Braves, Arizona, and to some extent the Cubs, but a little bit.
Explain this Arizona chalk to me. I don't quite get it.
I told you that they've got a 5 implied run total. They're cheap. I knew that they would be popular, but the projections are really high on them everywhere I looked.
Okay.
I don't know. So I just decided that's my thing of the day. So the Braves are going to be mega chalk. Eric Johnson asked the same question he asks every day, basically, which is the Brewers stack and play on DK. Like on a small slate, everything's in play. These full stackings on these slates, while it might work, I just don't think it's optimal. I mean, again, I'm just going to keep saying that. I like it better on FanDuel than I do on DraftKings. I think 4-man, 3-man, 3-3-2s, 4-2-2s, things like that, 4-2-1-1s. You can do a lot of things differently on these small slates. I mean, look at today's slate to tell you. I do think the Dodgers were going to be a little underowned just because I think they'll be in the teens, and that's not where they should be. Austin Riley's ownership should be around 20%, which is the question. Maybe give or take a few 5 percentage points either way. I could see. Maybe a little higher and higher buy-ins. Good low-owned bats in a DK GPP. We just named a bunch of them. I mean, let's see who are the most low-owned ones. I mean, even the Pollock and Pollock will be higher, but Blackman is probably. These guys are all probably like 20%ers. Seager's probably going to be like 10 to 15% in the lefty. Rizzo is going to get lower ownership than I think people originally thought. Other low-owned guys who I really like. Oh, I mentioned that parts of a stack you say for the Dodgers and all of Colorado, basically. Aside from Blackman, who's the only one.
So before we go into NBA, I want to address Bert for a second. So one of the ways I've made a lot of money in my life, whether by hedge fund or whatever, I had a lot of luck, like figuring out like what types of analysts were experts at certain things and which ones were actually really bad at other things. And I paid some analysts like a lot of money. They don't realize why I was doing it, as literally just to be contrarian indicators. Like there were some guys that were just so bad at certain things that whenever they would tell me, like I would buy this, it would be like an automatic short. And having guys like that around and knowing how to interpret that their information is actually really important. So like if you really think like what's his name, Bert, that I'm like garbage at MLB, you should like pay attention kind of to what I do, because then I'm probably going to be someone that you should be fading. Right. So like if I really like locking a pitcher, you should be able to fade that in a way, So yeah, I mean, it's possible I'm garbage at MLB, but instead of like just getting all whatever, just say, okay, he's bad. He's a good probably indication of what the idiot public's doing. And you should try to fade that in a way. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. What other personal stuff that on there?
They're all attacking you. Yeah.
Jason, man, that's not was born in. Yeah, I don't know if you know much about it, but yeah. I'm sorry to be bragging. I'm not much of a bragger. I don't know why you would think that. But anyway, you want to talk about the NBA?
Yeah, let's jump over.
So what was I going to say? So what's his name? So Luka, I presume, is out, right? And so usually when Luka is out, Brunson just becomes kind of a plug and play. And I don't see any reason why that shouldn't be the case today, right?
Right.
Yeah,
agreed.
So I'm only playing one lineup on DraftKings. Just so I'm playing it in a bunch of different things. Mm-hmm. And I'm sticking to what I was saying before. I am going to be highlighting that Golden State Minnesota thing with the spend ups there, using probably Bazemore as a value, and the rest of this stuff and the value just kind of plays itself. I can't like show you what I have, and this might end up being chalky after all that. But I have a lineup that leaves 600 on the table, which I'm just sort of content with. But if we go game by game, I might be able to talk myself out of some of this stuff.
Yeah, let's. Or
do you want to just go?
I'm not even playing on DraftKings today, to be honest with you. I'm playing on FanDuel only.
Well, let me ask you, if you mind. Well, let's take some questions then, and ask about a certain. I want one opinion on a guy. Like, what do you think of like the Nets secondary guys? That's kind of what I would like to know.
I'm less into them than I am some of the other value, and I'm like I said, I'm playing on FanDuel, so it's a little bit easier for me. But so to not play some of the nonsense, so to speak. But okay. Whether Mike James or Tyler Johnson, I think they're fine, especially Tyler Johnson. But I just don't think I'm going to end up going there. I do think Hernan Gomez makes sense. I know that's on FanDuel. I'm sorry, on DraftKings. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. And I agree with you about the Golden State Minnesota game.
Connor, that's actually a really good question. Brunson or Hayes? That's basically what you're asking, right? I don't know. That's my honest answer. My instinct tells me Brunson, honestly.
Yeah, I would try to play both of them personally.
But now that you bring it up, I mean, maybe I should. Since I mean, I have one lineup in 6 things. Maybe I'll play. I'll swap out Brunson or maybe play them both. Because right now I like Jeff Green, and I want to either be talked off of it or be told to be okay. By the way, I'm sharing my screen. If anybody can tell me what this is on the right, like without knowing what it is already, there'd be an interesting little. It shouldn't take you that long, but it's like an interesting little trivia question about what it is that I'm sharing right now. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? Yeah, so for me, that's what I'm doing. It's going to be the Golden State, Minnesota. I think Durant is just kind of unfadable. And is here's an interesting question: Is Adams out? Do we know that yet?
I think he's always been supposed to be out. I don't think we've ever thought he was in. I've never seen a prediction for him today.
Okay. So Willie Hernan-Gomez remains a strong play. Okay.
Yeah, on more so on
DraftKings,
but also on FanDuel, you're totally viable there too.
Now, are there any DraftKings specific questions before we go FanDuel? Because Bobby mentioned that he was playing mostly FanDuel, so I think that we should probably focus on that a little bit. With but if people have questions about DraftKings,
yeah, absolutely. I would say Oubre just got ruled out, by the way.
Who did? Oubre?
Yeah.
Oh, they really want me to do it, don't they? They really want me to play Andrew Wiggins in Minnesota. They're just asking for it.
But how are you going to do it? Like I said, in FanDuel, DraftKings is a lot different.
Eric Johnson asked the question that has so many like awesome, like easy responses. Is when does NBA end? I mean, not soon enough. Hopefully soon or something like that. I actually don't know. You go NBA.com. I'm sure it has like the schedule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
John, so funny. I'm such in NBA mode right now as I'm talking about this. Oh, okay. I'll go for a general question. What leads you to play one site to another certain day or slates? Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the truth. So it's like say do as I say, not as I do. You really should. If you were a real professional, someone who really just wanted to maximize EV, you would really be able to tell like which sites you should be playing more on particular slates, given your edge in pricing and what the offerings are and things like that. But I honestly just play them both. I mean, I just usually play both FanDuel and DraftKings. But like your question is that you really should be playing more volume on the slates where you feel you have an edge on a slate by slate basis. That's really hard though. That's like really next level, not next level stuff. I mean, obviously, if this were my only job, guys, like if this is when I was putting like some of the money in that other people are putting in, and this is one of my pet peeves. And I'm not talking about me or Bobby or anybody. I'm talking about the people that pay literally 6 figures a night into this. I really think they're not. There's a zillion things they could be doing that they're not. But one of them should be yes, paying closer attention to where your edge is on certain slates. But I really just play them both, honestly.
Yeah, I think I think there's certain days where certain sites are more constricting. Sometimes it's about tournament entries for me. If I want to play one big buy lineup, I don't have a real tournament on one site. Sometimes it's as silly as that. But I do think that getting edge on different sites for different types of slates, like I've done really well in NBA and large slates, more so on DraftKings than FanDuel. But on FanDuel, I've done really well on smaller slates because it's really easy to find ways to just differentiate yourself in a position or two and get low ownership. And when that hits, obviously, you're in a great spot.
Okay, so here's a question. Hello, do you like Zach Randolph tonight? Now, before you even attempt to answer that, I am really going to try to think of what sport he's talking about.
He's talking about basketball. He's talking about the old Zach Randolph. He's just messing around.
Oh, okay. He's not like a hockey guy, maybe?
I don't think so. I don't know. Is there a guy, Zach Randolph, who plays hockey?
I don't know. I'm not playing him. If he does exist. Oh, the guy just mentioned Zach Randolph. If that were a troll, that's a weird troll. Like Zach Randolph?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. Maybe some next level shit.
I don't know. good one. All right, so let me pull up FanDuel then. Okay, so let me pull up my FanDuel because I'm playing only right now. I only have one lineup built for FanDuel, and we could actually bring that in there. Okay, that's actually in my world, and I do need to probably tweak a little bit because what I had this lineup, just so you know, this had Fred VanVleet in it. And when he got ruled out, I just replaced him with LeVert, just kind of instinctively, just to fill the salary. But maybe I want to leave it. Maybe LeVert's not the worst play in the world, especially playing against Brooklyn. So that's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, I would just play Brunson or Hardaway over Ty Jerome there.
Yeah, again, this was before even Luka got ruled out. I mean, this was.
Oh, right.
What about the Jackson Hayes thing?
No interest for me personally.
Okay. I just put him as a placeholder. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, it's not the worst idea in the world but I mean, I'm just going to play Poku and hope for the best. And he literally is going to be like unowned, so I'm good with that as my low owned guy. They're pretty much all the value is going to be pretty low owned over here.
So we like Poku.
I like Poku, but I just think, I mean, look, it's a huge range of outcomes with that guy every night, but it's 4,400. And of the cheap guys, which is what I ended up doing, he was the one who made the most sense, partly because I wanted to play the Towns Curry Russell combination. And apparently Zach Randolph is a hockey player, and apparently I'm rude all the time, according to Mike. This guy hates me. He comes in all the time just to talk shit to me. That's okay.
Yeah, so you know, I thought it might be a hockey. So I actually, the only thing that I did was I played the Florida guys, and I don't, only because it's 6:37 and we don't have that much time to do it. If you want me, I will carve out like 10 minutes, like next time to talk about the hockey stuff that I did. I just played Florida. That's my thing. I played 5 Florida guys, and then I found some one-offs. I mean, I did not play Zach, but I did not play Zach Randall. Okay, so it'd be nice if there was a nice, easy shooting guard that like if you really. That was 6,900. Then I could just, it's D'Angelo Russell. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
You got Russell and or Wiggins, either way.
Oh my God. Well, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna play them both.
Oh no, okay. Now I've got to change my lineup because you literally just entered the same lineup that I have.
I did not.
You did the exact same lineup I have. Swear on my life and everything. It's the exact same lineup I have.
No, we're not doing that then. Hold on.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm going to take Wiggins then.
I even have one version of it with just the 500 left on the table. No one else is playing Poku, but they're going to get out. They'll go after us if we both do it. You could always shift over to Wiggins. But I've got one of those same lineups with Wiggins and one with Russell. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Russell or Wiggins higher ceiling. They're both pretty high. I would say Russell in general has a higher ceiling, but I think Wiggins is really high in this matchup situation, especially without Oubre. So I think they're pretty similar. I'm playing more Russell, but I do like Wiggins, and I wouldn't be surprised if it goes completely against me. It's a revenge game for both of them. You can play them both together. It's not that hard to do.
That's pretty funny, FanDuel. That's really funny. I like it. That's an excellent one.
But that's pretty funny. That is literally now the people who saw it actually know too. Please do not show full sheets. We can't show the FanDuel lineups. Sorry about that.
Oh, you think that's for real?
We just got absolutely.
That guy in the crowd, you think is actually a FanDuel rep?
Probably not, but
no, that's what I'm saying. That's a great troll. No,
to create an account to do this?
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's pathetic, but yeah, I can't find this person on what's it called? Anyway. All right, so we'll just talk about the lineups then. Any questions, guys, feel free to drop them in. I think that we basically went through what we're doing on the slate and would love any thoughts, questions.
I think maybe I'll go back to that LeVert thing.
You're really struggling over this one, huh?
What's that?
You're really struggling over that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do now.
I think it's interesting. I mean, look, you just play all revenge. You just can't do it all on DraftKings. If you're on FanDuel, you have to do it on DraftKings. So you can't play LeVert, Wiggins, and Russell for the full revenge.
Right.
Um,
Let me just see something. If I went back to Levert, oh man, that Levert freaking KD thing seems so freaking cool. What else could I do at Brunson, Hayes, Durant? This was with no Brunson. Right. What else at power forward could I do at the 4,700 range on FanDuel? Nothing. Just literally nothing. Is Aaron Gordon a good play?
I don't know about good. Like it's been pretty missy with him, but you can go ahead and do it. I don't. On this slate, I have no problem with it.
What position is Pascal Siakam? He's power forward. So that's another thing I could do over here. If I played Jokic, Siakam, and then Lowry. Still play Hayes. Then we could play Stewart. We still like Stewart at power forward, right? Stewart at power forward. That's a little different. And then you play Russell here. No, you can't play Russell.
3,500 or less forward on FanDuel. I'm sorry, on DraftKings. 3,500 or less. That gets into a weird territory. Yeah, I think.
I like this. I like this.
Maybe you leave money. I don't know. Maybe you leave money on the table and play Bembry. 3,500 is not somewhere I'd want to end up with a forward spot. Paul Millsap, maybe. I mean, maybe he plays like 10 minutes. He's played 18 and 14 and 12 before that. Maybe Millsap's okay. I guess that maybe. I mean, in that weird range, maybe that would be your best bet. I don't really like that range on DraftKings.
Jerome. This is really good. Hold on. So I came up with a way.
Do I like any Texas on this slate? Is their ownership low? What's up, WW Fresh? I have no interest in Texas except for maybe one-offs here and there, but they're all fine. You know, probably be mostly the lefties, which is weird against Perez, but Gallo is my favorite play from Texas.
Campazzo.
I'm using. No problem. Oh.
Campazzo.
I mean, Chris Patterson is not the worst. I mean, Millsap is not the worst thing in the world. I would have to know the rest of your line. Like it seems weird to have to fit him in. So maybe there's a way to get around it, Chris. Cheech, what was the question?
No, I was just talking to myself.
All right, guys. Any final QQs before we end up running?
No, I'm still working here.
I'm asking them. I'm just trying to see if is Perez a pitcher who's prone to giving? I mean, he's actually he is the frustrating pitcher to stack against in general. But he's had some huge blow up games. Partly pitching in Fenway doesn't help, but I actually think Perez would be a logical SP2 on DraftKings. I think that most people would probably agree.
Yeah, you make sure you don't expect too much.
Yeah, you're not trying to get too much.
Right.
He was asking about stacking against him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's fine. I mean, you could hate to say this, but you could do a lot of different things today, even though it's a short slate.
Yeah, he gets wild a little bit. His home run he's looking at one home run this year.
You still like it? You still like Eric Bledsoe a little bit?
A little bit. not as much reason anymore. No problem, Adam. Thank you, and good luck to you, buddy.
What is that?
Sorry, that was my windows open. Forgot as usual.
What other good power forwards are there? What's Hernan Gomez? He's 4,300.
He's a center.
Not on FanDuel. Right. That's Wancho, right?
Yeah.
The wrong Hernan Gomez. Is there another? Oh, no, that's still poker, right? 4,400. That doesn't quite make it. We can play cat, right? Let's play Jokic again. Jokic, like 200 too much. Maybe I don't need Josh Jackson. Shooting guard FanDuel, 5,400.
Yeah. To answer Chris's question, yes, you can play Chris Wiggins and Curry together. I have some lineups like that.
Oh, okay. Hey, we haven't played in a while?
Who's that?
Bobby Portis.
It's true.
Like Isaiah Roby at all?
Not especially, no.
No. Let me just double check this FanDuel thing. That makes sense. Put in. Okay.
Roby, I mean, if you ended up with him on FanDuel, I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world.
Who can touch this? I got one more thing I want to change. I'm definitely not changing that. Let's change this one because it's probably a little too chalky.
No problem.
So instead of that, let's put in Roby. And then conflicting reports on Redick and Richardson starting.
Was that?
There's conflicting reports on Richardson or Redick starting. Don't know exactly what that means to the average man.
I don't think there is a Zach Randolph. I think there's a Zach Randolph not in the AHL yet, by the way.
Hey, I have a question. Should we not be playing Kristaps Porzingis?
No, you should be. I mean, he's like the chalk on FanDuel. On FanDuel, he is. I'm not playing him. He's got a minutes restriction.
Oh, he does? Okay.
I believe. I got a message saying he did, and I'm just going to look at my projected minutes for him. Actually, no, they've got him at 34. Maybe he doesn't have it. Maybe they took it off. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's a really strong play. I went different with my build, but he's partly because he's projected to be the highest owned player. All right.
One last thing.
Oh, AJ Pollock will not be low owned on FanDuel particularly now.
No. He will not. Compazzo. And then we could play Justin Jackson. This could be something for the smaller one. Okay. All right. Oh, so what this is, by the way, on the screen share, these are the sheets. Just so
Nice.
you guys, this is what my username was derived from, and these are the sheets. Trademark.
Cool.
Curry and Wiggins together. I don't mind, only because I just see Curry giving Wiggins some assists. I guess it's probably not the it's one of those things where if you told me it was going to overtime, I would like to have them both.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much everyone.
All right. Oh wait, hold on a minute. Josh Richardson back in the starting lineup.
So is Hardaway.
All right. Any other questions here before we
I think we're good. And we
Yeah.
don't even have any weird late NBA news happening other than starting lineups.
Yeah, let me just double check something upstairs. What would you do? Like any Texas on this, like 3,500 forward on DK, Millsap. Okay. All right. Good luck, everybody, and let's get it.
All right. Good luck, everybody.
Later.
Good luck, Sheets.
See ya.